We've covered the infantry and the cavalry, the blades and the boots, but now it is time to cover the greatest battlefield equalizer in Empire Total War, the artillery.
Meine Herren, Haubitzen!
Welcome back to Scroll and Strategy. Today is a full deep dive into the ballistics of the 18th century.
Drink up, let's boo-boo.
I'm not fucking leaving!
The fixed artillery. This group includes demi-cannons, cannons, sackers, 9-pound artillery, guns, 64 heavy artillery, 64-pound great guns, and the organ gun. First up, the heavyweight anchors. Europe is at the bottom of a pile here. The Ottomans and Martha versions feature superior firepower and range right out of the gate. It is a formidable, albeit fixed, asset. It has a tactical flexibility of a greenhouse. Once you deploy it, it belongs to the earth. For requirements, technology, none, and buildings, cannon foundry or ordnance factory. Next up, we have the sacker, 9-pound artillery and gun. Europe uses the sacker, the Ottomans have the 9-pounder, and the Martha Confederacy has the gun. The sacker is a logistical floor. Using one is a compromise. You're saving a little bit in gold to lose a significant impact. It is a participation trophy of the artillery world. For requirements, technology, none, and buildings, cannon foundry. Next, we have the 64-pounder heavy artillery and great gun. The absolute peak of fixed firepower. With a massive stat of 70 in firepower, they don't hit walls, they delete them. Unlike the elite guard units, there is no build limit on these, allowing you to turn every provincial capital into a fortress of doom. They do have a reload speed of 10, so your crew has time to file their taxes between shots. For requirements, technology, none, and buildings, a military engineering school. The organ gun is a 1700 shotgun with an identity crisis. This is an Ottoman exclusive. It's terrifyingly effective for aggressive surgery for an encroaching army. It's basically a lead-based do not disturb sign. For requirements, technology, none, and for buildings, a cannon foundry.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Moving on to our indirect fire, we have the 4-inch mortar battery, bombardment mortars, large mortars, and a rocket troop. Starting off with the 4-inch mortar battery, found in Europe and Russia, with a range of 750 and an accuracy of 15, it's perfect for lobbing shells over walls while maintaining a modest budget. It's for the commander who prefers implied violence over direct confrontation. For requirements, technology, explosive shells, and buildings, you need an ordnance board. Bombardment mortars, the Ottomans' equivalent, same 750 range, but with an accuracy of 10. It's less of a weapon and more of a suggestion of where the shell might land. For requirements, technology, explosive shells, and buildings, the Great Arsenal. Large mortars, the Martha Confederacy's heavy hitters. They mirror the Ottomans' bombardment units. If you missed a target, just claim you were aiming for the grass behind them. For requirements, technology, explosive shells as well, and for a building, you require a gunnery school. Mortars. Standard Martha Confederacy mortars have a range of 750, but they have a precision penalty. You're going to use them for saturation, not surgery. They're fantastic for people who think aiming is a bourgeois concept. For requirements, technology, explosive shells, and buildings, you need your gunnery school. The rocket troop, or band if you're in the Martha Confederacy, is available to everybody but the Ottoman Empire. More focused on a high psychological impact, with a firepower of only 6, it's basically a high-velocity firework display that occasionally will kill someone. For requirements, technology is explosive rockets and buildings, an engineering school in Europe, or an ordnance council in India.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
On to our foot artillery. We have a 12-pound howitzer, a 24-pound howitzer, a 12-pound foot artillery, an 18-pound foot artillery, a 24-pound foot artillery, a 24-pound guard artillery, and the puckle gun. Starting off with the 12-pounder howitzer. Your primary scalpel for bypassing your line of sight restrictions. It offers a surgical 45 accuracy, allowing you to drop shells onto elite units without accidentally liquidating your own front line. For requirements, technology, explosive shells, and building, a military governor's barracks. Next up, we have the 24-pound howitzer, the heavy-duty demolition event. Accuracy does drop to 40, but your firepower goes all the way up to 40. It's a grand piano dropped from a skyscraper. If you need a hole in a regiment, this is the drill. For requirements, technology, explosive shells, and buildings, ordnance board. The 12-pound foot artillery is Europeans' gold standard. It's towered and versatile, mixing mobility and firepower. You also get it as the Martha Confederacy. It's the reliable daily driver of the 18th century, unlike my social life because all I do is play Empire Total War and make videos.
What can I say except you're welcome?
For requirements, technology, canister shot, and buildings, ordnance factory, or military governor's encampment. The 18-pound foot artillery, used by both the Ottomans and the Martha Confederacy, so if you can afford an 18-pounder, swap it out with your 12-pounders. Firepower is 33, accuracy is 50, it renders the European 12-pound obsolete for almost the same cost. Technology, canister shot, for buildings, gunnery school in India, or ordnance factory or great arsenal in the Middle East. The 24-pound foot artillery, the late game field master, 42 firepower with a range of 400. It's the unit you bring when you're tired of the enemy existing. For requirements, technology, none, buildings, engineering school in Europe, ordnance board in India, or a gunnery school in the Middle East. Next we have the French exclusive 24-pound guard artillery. The elite variant, firepower still sits at 42, but we're looking at a staggering accuracy of 65 and a reloading skill of 50. This unit does have a build limit of 4, but it is a high-yield crown jewel for the decimating French commander. For requirements, technology, none, and for buildings, the engineering school. Next up, we have the Puckle gun. Basically, it's a crew-served flintlock revolver with a range of 150, an accuracy of 40, and a reloading skill of 25. You do have a build limit of 6 on these, and they're available for all European factions. It's perfect for people who want to lose, but with a high fire rate. For requirements, technology is none, and for buildings, it's the ordnance board.
Speed. I am speed.
On to horse artillery. In this category, we have the 3-pound horse artillery, the 6-pound horse artillery, and the 18-pound horse guard artillery. First up, we have the 3-pound horse artillery, available to all of Europe. A firepower of 9, it's basically a very angry pony with a pea shooter attached. You have an accuracy of 45 and a reloading skill of 30. For requirements, technology, explosive shells, and buildings, the military governor's barracks. Next up, we have the 6-pound horse artillery. The upgraded firepower is at 15. It's a perfect kinetic reserve for when you need to be somewhere else very quickly, but you still want to be annoying. For requirements, technology, none, and for buildings, the great arsenal. And lastly, in our horse artillery, we have the 18-pound horse guard artillery, probably the best unit in the game because it mixes a very strong firepower of 33 and still gives you a strong mobility factor. You're also getting an accuracy of 65 and a reloading skill of 50. You do have a build limit of 4 on these. If you're playing France and you aren't using this unit, stop playing Empire and go play Sims. For requirements, technology, none, and buildings, the engineering school. Technology and types of shot. Now, we are combining these because the technologies under ordnance and the types of shot are the same name and give you the same type of shot, plus some modifiers, and you just unlock the cannons. Starting off, we have regular shot. It's the big round ball that goes far when the gunpowder in the cylinder goes boom. Great for sieges and that long distance game of tag we sometimes like to win. With canister shot, you get the 12 and 18 pounder foot artillery so you can actually move the artillery on the field, but you need to first build the ordnance factory. Now, canister shot does shorten the effective range, but you get a massive mobile shotgun that will decimate incoming infantry and cavalry. This can level an army that outnumbers you. Just funnel their units in front of your cannon and light the fuse. Explosive shells technology will give you a large amount of artillery. Mortars, large mortars, bombardment mortars, the 4-inch mortar battery, the 3-pound horse artillery, the 12 and 24-pounder howitzers. All to be made after you build the Great Arsenal building. This also unlocks explosive shot, specifically for your howitzers and mortars. The great thing about this technology is it lets you play a longer and more explosive game of tag with your enemy. One where those pesky fort walls don't matter anymore. Carcass shot will give you the ability to utilize, well, carcass shot from howitzers and mortars, but also increase the upkeep of your artillery units by 1%. This can be used against defensive positions and for troops that are out in the open. Explosive rockets. If you're playing inside Europe and the Martha Confederacy and unlock explosive rockets, you gain access to rocket troops and rocket ships, which we've talked about in our naval overview. Now, there is a cheesy strategy of using rocket ships to just obliterate your enemy navies due to their ability to catch ships on fire. When it comes to land though, These are pretty much a waste of money, in my opinion. They miss everything and have a firepower of 6. Just go get a demi cannon with canister shot. Quicklime shells. Replacing carcass shot, we have quicklime shells, but either way, they are great for any unit that's out in the open. We'll also be getting another fun bonus of a 2% upkeep cost for our artillery units. Shrapnel shot is an explosive projectile that peppers infantry or cavalry with iron splinters as it bursts above them. Think like a hand grenade.
We have the holy hand grenade. Yes, of course. The holy hand grenade of Antioch.
Inside a cannon, plus another 2% increased upkeep for our cannons. Now, if you're using canister shot and you've already completed shrapnel shot, you need to be swapping to shrapnel shot because you'll increase your range and you're going to be doing the same level of damage with anti-infantry rounds. Lastly, we have percussion shells, replacing the explosive shell for our artillery units and providing yet another 2% increase for artillery units. These shells are great because instead of bursting in the air like explosive shells, percussion shells actually explode on impact. At the end of the day, your artillery isn't just a weapon, it's a line item in your national ledger. If you're still deploying sackers in 1750, you aren't just a bad general, you're fiscal liability to your own crown. Whether it's the surgical precision of a 12-pound howitzer, or the sheer unadulterated mass deletion of the Martha's Confederacy's great gun, understand your assets. Artillery is the marriage of mobility and math. If your guns aren't firing, your ROI is 0. If they're captured by light cavalry because you're busy micromanaging a skirmish on the far flank, that's a total capital loss. Stop guessing, start calculating, and for the love of God, keep the horses away from catapults. Thank you again for visiting the channel. If you've enjoyed this overview, please like and subscribe. We've finished with the blades, the boots, and now the guns. Next, we're going to be diving into the actual tactics and formations math of Empire Total War. Remember, log off once in a while, visit and talk to your friends and family. The real world doesn't require a protractor to navigate. Stay awesome, have a good one, and I will see you in the next video.